Discussing the issues and finding solutions to the challenges of our community. Institute for the Development of African American Youth Incorporated, IDAAY, Youth and Family Voices.
Hello, I am Archie Leacock, the Executive Director here at Institute for the Development of African American Youth and the host of this program, Youth and Family Voices. Today, we are going to have another exciting conversation with Jay Barnes, who is our job developer. So anyone looking for a job, make sure you pay attention to this program because he will have one for you. Jay, welcome.
Thank you, Archie.
That's what everybody thinks, right?
Yes.
Like you're going to get them a job.
Yes, that's what everyone thinks, and that's what people, a big mystery that is around me, but that's far from the case at all.
Tell us, why don't we go right in and sort of, blow apart that misconception of a job developer getting everybody a job?
People think a job developer is pretty much the unemployment line. And they think that, you have jobs at your disposal like you have food. You can just open up a fridge and there's jobs. No, it's not. That's a job in itself, to find jobs, to find locations, to find employers, because looking for a job, as we all know, is a job itself. And so that's where my job comes into play.
Okay. How did you get here? Tell us a little bit about your background. Who are you and where you came from?
Where I came from? Well, I came from God, and of course, and then my mother. So those are the two main people that's responsible for me. But then I'm originally from Queens, New York. Then I migrated from the bitter cold to Philadelphia, city of brotherly love sometimes. I'm a recent graduate from Lincoln University, the first HBCU on the East Coast. Okay. Graduated in May 2009, and a degree in business and finance. In my quest of looking for employment, I stumbled upon a position at IDAAY, which pretty much solidified some of my expertise as far as being able to network, be able to socialize, be able to also educate. Because another part of my position is a job readiness instructor. I did do some slight teaching when I was at Lincoln University, teaching different programs for different groups. So I had an interview with, of course, the man of the hour, Mr. Leacock, and he brought me in and actually liked my smile. He saw it, ear to ear. And, I sounded like a good catch, so he picked me up and brought me along, and, we've been running ever since.
Okay, well, I opened my refrigerator and gave you a job.
Pretty much, right next to your milk, right next to your cereal.
Okay, but tell us about your growing. You talked about your mother.
Yes.
And of course, I know your mother.
Yes, you do
well.
Well.
Tell us what kind of, upbringing you had in order to get you here. Because you're very articulate. I mean, for a blind man, you dress well, and you're smart and you're tall. Tell us what kind of upbringing you had.
Well, my upbringing was pretty much kind of the old school. I'm a product of my mother and my father. I just speak my mother, but I am a product of both parents from a single-parent household, but after a while, I went to go live with my dad. Mm-hmm. My mother always instilled upon us education. One thing most people can't tell is that I'm a lot older than I look. I'm actually 30. Oh. So I went back to school and to get my degree because I'm also a full-time father. When my daughter was born, I had to take time off. And in that process, I had to, go through different avenues. And I've discovered that, education is the main thing. And you can't go but so far without education. Right. And that's the reason what I'm at today as far as, I have my bachelor's degree. And I'm not done. I'm already in grad school working on my master's. And then
right now?
Right now, yes, sir.
Okay.
So I'm going to come from a family of, I'm not from a silver spoon. My mother worked 3-4 jobs. She's also Jamaican. I don't want to do the stereotype of all Jamaicans work a lot of jobs. Don't want to offend anyone.
But she did.
Yes, she did.
She did 3 jobs.
She did 3, sometimes 4. I wonder how she slept, just to be able to put me through school and help me, as far as being able to take care of my daughter. So, working hard and no excuses is not something I'm used to.
Right.
So that's what's embedded upon me and all of my family members. My sister is a college graduate. My older sister, who's a college graduate. So I had the only boy, only male. I had to get it together.
Right.
I had to get it together. So,
but let's talk about that male thing since we're here. Mm-hmm. An African American male.
Yes.
And there's so many things going on. Of course, there are those of you who are doing well, as you are. But so many of our young men are not doing well. Our young men are looking at you right now, and I know they look at you in the classroom.
Yes.
How did you not get there?
I didn't get there through, for multiple reasons. I get there because I'm a firm believer of God. And I'm not trying to sway anyone's religion or anything, but God's grace got me in a lot of situations. And I've been in situations where it could have gone to the negative. Just walking down the street with a couple buddies, and an altercation could have transpired, and but luckily, and through the grace that it was dissolved. I've also my surroundings. All of my friends are college graduates, and I'm not saying that you have to be surrounded with college graduates, but it's the fact that all of my friends are about a positive atmosphere.
It's about choices.
It's about choices, and all of my friends have chosen to put themselves in a better situation. And quite frankly, my mother just would kick my behind. Real simple. Certain things was just untolerated. And I did have a male figure. My father was a strong male figure. I lived with my father in North Carolina for 4 years. Okay. And I will never take anything from my mother, but also my father taught me how to be a man. Taught me how to take a step above. How to give back to your community, and also how to take from your community and distill upon your knowledge. So, from both.
When you were in college, I know you did a lot of work with fraternities and so on. Is that because of the kind of influences you had with your father, or how did you get involved in all of this?
I was involved with fraternities, social groups, social organizations, and not because of my dad. My father was a regular hustler, had his own businesses and everything. I got involved because of other influence of sports figures. I play a lot of sports. As you can see, I'm a pretty tall guy. You may not see on the camera, but I'm pretty tall.
How tall is tall?
I'm 6'5".
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm, but you're always taller than me, Archie, because, you're the man. I'm just here. But the fact of the matter is that when I play a lot of sports and there's a lot of going to a lot of different places, I ran into a lot of different males who, created a very strong and positive impact on me. And just by seeing how these men carried themselves and see how they handled themselves in different situations, it was always an influence, and it caused me to become a member of a fraternity myself. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and I'm still very active in my fraternity. And also I associate with a lot of different fraternities and sororities. So, and I've seen one of the things that they've done from the 60s and beyond, and now the social activism, the political awareness, the community service they've done. I've been a part of that, outreach to children. Teaching of children. I've seen by different, I didn't work with my own, I work with a lot of different ones. At my Lincoln University, a lot of fraternities call me up now, can you come and speak or whatever? But can't because I work for Archie. So I have to come back.
And you in graduate school.
I'm in graduate school, yes sir.
But let's get back to something more basic though, because you're painting this as easy as apple pie. Because at IDAAY, we try to get our young people to do community service, get involved, be a part of the solution in the community, and it is as hard as nails. Why was it so easy for you, or was it that easy for you to get involved?
It wasn't. I was a very anti-political person. I felt that, this has nothing to do with me. I felt that, so what? Okay, slavery's over with. I'm not picking any cotton, so I can care less now. I've seen Roots, that's it. That's my contribution to Black History Month. And that's far from the case. It goes back to a cultural awareness. You have to see outside the box. And sometimes it has to hit you dead in the face. No pun to you, you're a blind man. You have to feel your way. And if something's in front of you, you have to move the other side. In our culture, we don't see it yet. It's blinded by other things like negativity on television or too much rap. And don't get me wrong, I love hip hop, I love the whole atmosphere, but it paints a false image of what's really going on. It paints a false image of, you don't see everyone with, Cuban link chains and a whole bunch of diamonds. No, I see people on the street, begging for food and begging for clothes. I don't see women dressed in, hardly nothing, dancing on videos. I see women in lines carrying a bunch of children trying to get something. It creates a false image, and I attribute to ourselves and the media because what we project and what we allow. So that's one of the main issues, and it goes back to, again, like I said, the ceiling effect. You don't see, and you put a ceiling over yourself. Someone from North Philadelphia or someone from New York, all they know is that, then they're not going to see a world outside. I was privileged enough to see outside. I've gone to different countries. I've seen different areas in the United States. I've traveled. So I see people who look like me are going through the same things I've gone through. I
Right.
see, someone from DC, someone from Carolina, someone from, all the way Connecticut. I see people who look like me, they're not rich. They're not driving around in a Bentley or
Right,
things
right.
like that. So it kind of gives me understanding that, one, the world is bigger than your hood. It's bigger than your neighborhood. And it kind of open your eyes a little bit.
Well, you certainly have that message as you talk to our young people in your position as job developer. So let's talk more specifics about the job. What is a job developer?
Job developer is the most interesting title I've ever had because no one knows what that is.
Okay.
I go to social events, I tell them, yes, I'm a job developer. And that's what? The people you say, doctor, lawyer, no. A job developer, also job readiness instructor as well. Job developer is not someone who just goes and gets people jobs.
Right.
Okay. My job is to, one, to set up a network base for IDAAY and the youth of IDAAY. And not just IDAAY, but just all across the area.
Right.
One of the things is that my job title is to motivate, is to inspire, and is to prep young men and young women to make themselves prime candidates. What I do is the same thing pretty much people do when they go to college. I'm not calling myself an instructor, no, as far as a college instructor, but I I'm kind of the liaisons of a business and a prominent candidate.
Right.
I'm the one that they speak with as far as, hey, do you have this person, what do you feel about this candidate?
Right.
And I come to these employers, or lots of employers, say, I have X, Y, and Z amount of employees who are prime and ready to work for you. And sometimes you need that. Some people are not as articulate, but they are great workers. They have great communication skills written, but not verbally.
Right.
So that's where I come into play.
Okay. And tell us how you actually do it from day to day. I know you teach some classes and
Yes.
then you take guys out
Yes.
to Men's Fit. Walk us through some of the activities you do with our young people and getting them ready for the world of work.
Okay. Well, I get up and have breakfast.
Okay.
But besides that, my daily activity is a wide assortment, from calling local businesses to actually getting out and, as you would say, I've learned from beat the streets.
Right.
To just, as far as establishing a rapport, pretty much establish this initial meeting, that's entail a very, very strenuous task due to the fact of, everyone's so busy. And we say, I'm from this organization, if I can speak with you, that's hard enough as it is. I'm kind of you say you're the annoying blind man, I'm the annoying tall man. So, this big tall man who comes and just, knocks on your door. With the youth, I help them as far as, of course, answer questions and instruct them, but I take them to different places like Men's Fit to get suited, like yourself. Very nice suit, by the way. I'm sorry I don't have a suit jacket.
Oh, you look just fine.
Thank you. To get themselves started, and I will say suited and booted, to get themselves the proper appearance for an interview. Because it doesn't matter, in my opinion, you can never be overdressed for a job interview.
Right.
If you impress someone, the first impression is always your last impression. If I'm going to McDonald's with a sooner, they know that I'm very serious.
Right.
And I always instill that upon the youth. And not just that, as far as looking for jobs, because you can't just have someone just look for jobs for you.
Right.
Suppose I'm not here. I mean, I still want to be here. Don't get me wrong. I still want to be here. But suppose that you don't have that person accessibility. You have to go out. And I guide them as far as going out to find a job.
Right.
And to get them into, prep for their career. Because everyone knows there's a difference between a job and a career. And it's a step-by-step process. You all know it. Everyone knows you have to take steps. And I just get them to each step. To get them.
Teach them
Yes.
how to walk through the steps and how to be prepared.
Yes.
You talk about Men's Fit, getting
Yes.
the men ready. Do you do a parallel kind of service for the women?
Yes, for the women is a career wardrobe.
Career wardrobe.
From since I've been here, they had the women. My women colleagues have taken women to a career wardrobe. I have a rapport with the women there, but it's the same exact scenario. You take the young ladies, get them ready and get them prepared. It's the same.
Do they have to pay for the clothing? Or?
No, they don't have to pay for the clothing. It's part of IDAAY. There's a membership program that IDAAY is a part of. So if you're a member of IDAAY, if you're part of IDAAY's program, you can be situated for Men's Fit or career wardrobe.
Okay. All right. And other than getting fitted, do you help with resumes? Do you role play? What are the mechanics? Because all young people, sneakers, jeans, white tees. How do you move them from there to having a suit on? What kind of work do you have to do?
Lots of work. And I was a big T-shirt baggy jeans, Timberland wearing individual.
Yourself?
Yes. You know, had a do-rag on and a hat, and that didn't suit
I didn't see that one.
No, well, no, you didn't see that one. Okay. I kind of break them out of their comfort zone. And a lot of times I've run into young women and men who are not comfortable with dress clothes on. Mm-hmm. So by my own self-appearance, which I very rarely, you'll see me with jeans on, right. I show them that you can still be, I guess, quote unquote, cool with dress clothes on. And I go from teaching them how to properly dress. Right. And then, you know, for interview, because you have to dress a certain way on your work environment. And then we go over mock interviews. It was extensive mock interviews. And this is something that people at a very older age don't know how to properly interview. Right. And what they're getting is kind of, you know, a treat, because a lot of times people take advantage that not everyone knows how to interview. Mm-hmm. There's people who have great resumes and interviewing skills are poor. And when that happens, you know, they make themselves a less valuable candidate. They may have graduated from Harvard, X, Y, and Z, but they don't have the interview skills. So I instilled upon them the interview skills. And the most important piece of the document that I say that a youth will have was actually 3: your passport, your driver's license, and your resume. And you need those 3 to get you anywhere in life. If you have those 3, you can go very far. And your resume is probably most...
Say that again for the audience.
No problem.
I think that's important.
Your passport.
Passport.
Yes, your driver's license.
Okay.
And your resume.
Okay.
Passport, you can go anywhere in the world. Your driver's license, you can lose, the house can burn down. When you have your driver's license, you can restart again.
Wow.
And your resume is your vocal, it is your written mirror of yourself. It is you selling yourself. It's your written advertisement of yourself to any employer. Once you have a resume that is airtight, there's nothing you can't do or achieve. Right. So,
are young people interested though? Because honestly, I know you have some of those corner hood boys, you know, the gangsters. How are they taking you, or are they not taking you?
Well, they're taking me as, at first, like anything else new, with a defensive mechanism, and that's understandable. Because I am defensive if I don't know what's going on, but my methods are a lot different than like yours are. If you don't know what's going on, you take a defense as far as listening and understanding. Right. What I do is I'm kind of an upfront person, and I challenge them, and I tell them that if you're in this program, then one, you're not a thug, because thugs don't better themselves. Right. So you're not forced to be here. You can walk out any time, and that already hits them in the face. Right. And there are some who are resilient. You know, there are some young men, some young women who still have, you know, in their brain that this is what's supposed to be done. This is what's supposed to happen. This is what, you know, I've been taught, and I've taught myself. And that you have to understand these people have been teaching themselves, pretty much raising themselves for over 20 years or so. Right. So you have to be patient, and you have to understand that, you know, it's kind of hard to break bad habits for a long time. But my approach is very upfront, in your face. You have to be able to tell them that this isn't going to work. And you have to challenge them. If you think this is going to work, then prove me wrong. It's real simple. If your method's going to get you a job, then get a job and shut me up. If you come back with a job, then my job is done. Right. So it's real simple. It's really X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. If you can get this, this, and this, then you wouldn't be here. And there's nothing wrong with the program, and you'll be out doing whatever you have to do. Right. So I tell a lot of corner store, I call them the corner drug dealers, if you're really making that much money, then you're not on the corner. Right. You're in a bigger place. Right. You know. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, if you're in the corner, you're not making that much money. You're not making that much money, and you're still walking as well. Then you definitely need to worry about your whole job occupation, because I'm not going to risk going to jail and I'm still walking. Exactly. I can't run that fast anymore. So yeah, I won't be able to drive from the cops. Sorry, that's me. Right. Let me ask you a couple more questions. Is there hope for young people? In this current economy, things are tough, and the young people seem to be so desperate. We sit with them, and they're just not knowing where to turn. How are you working with them? It's discouraging. What hope do you have?